Well, there's 2 points. Firstly, no problem at all with TDC signalling it wants to review, make sure that it's getting value for money. I think that's a good thing. I think signalling that as part of the long-term plan is the appropriate time and process and way to go about it. But we would stress the importance of continuing with destination marketing funding for the region. It benefits all of us, and it's essential, I think, if we're going to continue to grow our region as a great place to live, to stay, to do business and to attract tourists here.
Considering much of the region's tourism attractions are actually in the Tasman District, I find it a little curious. Do you think the problem could be for them that these are cash-strapped times, or are they reassessing how they want to use ratepayers' dollars?
I think it's always important, whether good times or tight times, to make sure that you are getting value for the investment that you make. So no problem at all with that. I think it's more a rethink of where they want to put their investment, and what we would be stressing as a chamber is it's really important to continue to fund that destination marketing function of Nelson Tasman Tourism.
Okay. Nelson Tasman Tourism, it's been around for quite a few years now. Do you think it's been effective in bringing people into the region?
I think if you look at their performance compared to other RTOs or regional tourism operators, they certainly are. They're certainly pulling their weight. We have huge natural benefits, obviously, in attractions as a region, and I think they do well to leverage off those. That's not to say that we can't do better. We can all do better, and so that's why I say no problem at all with TDC reviewing operations, making sure they're getting value for money, but let's not take away the great gains that we've made in that space.
Some of their funding goes into visitor centres. Is that an effective use from the point of view of the Chamber of Commerce?
Look, I think visitor centres do 2 things. One is they give you an opportunity to really show people who you are. You can't get that sense of who the people are of this region through booking online or booking through internet or those other direct forms of booking. So there's no doubt that the usage and the sort of benefit that eyesights bring has changed over the years as people's approaches and interactions with those have changed. That's absolutely true. But in our view, the eyesight still form an important role in showing visitors to the region and for locals as well, who we are, what the range and flavour of our attractions are, and it also means that smaller operators can really compete with the larger operators who have a bigger personal budget, but it means you get that real sense of flavour and everybody has a chance to showcase their operation to the best of their ability.
Tourism is money to this region, and I guess there's concern around any kind of decision that might put the level of tourism here at risk. Would you agree?
Oh yes, tourism still is our 4th largest economic driver in the region. Like I say, it's one of the few things that brings external money into the region. It's absolutely vital for our ongoing prosperity. It's also really important for part of our regional brand. It's why when you travel anywhere in the country or in the world and you say you're from Nelson, people go, oh wow, I'd love to live there. That's partly because we showcase our great tourism, our great natural attractions. Oh, there's no doubt that times are tough for many in business, and that's been the case for 3-4 years now. So it's been an ongoing, sustained period of real economic difficulty and challenges for businesses. I think, though, that we had a speaker recently at one of our lunchtime series, and what they said is that the data shows that we are having less bankruptcies or insolvencies than what we did in the last economic recession. So what that means is that businesses are actually more resilient now. They're actually doing a better job at surviving tough economic times, and that's really good news. And as a region, we're one of the top performing regions in the country. So we're doing well, but that's not to say that times aren't tough, because they are.
The region, generally speaking, do you think that we're going to be okay over the next couple of years? Do you think there's some more pain to come? How do you see it happening?
Look, some businesses will undoubtedly suffer some more pain to come. I think by and large, though, most business operators that are part of the Chamber network are very well aware of those challenges, are very courageous in the way they face those, and are determined to continue to succeed. And so I think as a region, we're in good stead. We've got very resilient businesses. We've got a depth of experience and expertise, and a real willing for business owners to share and collaborate with each other. And I think that will do us very, very well. Certainly some sectors, some challenging times, and we'd certainly want to see some positive growth signals coming out of some of those good sectors as well.
Are you seeing some changes in business models? As things evolve, people are moving in some cases to smaller premises, cutting down that overhead and looking to sell online. These are just some of the changes that are taking place. It really is a matter of shifting sands sometimes.
Oh, I think business owners have to be flexible, have to be adaptive, have to be innovative. That's the essence of surviving. But I think what we're seeing also is a really clear understanding of the importance of the customer. So people are taking the time to look at who their customer is, what they want to receive, and are really focusing on meeting the needs of existing customers, not on promoting their product or service to the world. So it's very much on who are my customers, how do I best meet those needs? Is it through internet marketing? Is it through having a good brand campaign? Is it through making sure I understand what their evolving needs is? Is it on adding value to what I already provide my existing customer base? So we're seeing that around the world, and certainly Nelson Tasman operators are very active in that space, understanding the customer, making sure they're meeting their needs.
Been a bit of talk about relationships with China recently. Is there an opportunity there for Nelson businesses in reality, do you think?
Look, I think that any of those big, relatively emerging markets, China, India, are really important for our export-focused industries to be very mindful of. There's no doubt that there is a growing middle class in those countries, and they are constantly demanding high-value products. They want the sorts of products that come out of our country and out of our region. So absolutely there is a market there. Are those markets available for SMEs, for the small and medium-sized operators? In some niche areas, yes, there are. There's certainly some joint venture potential over there, and we've seen small Wellington businesses really take on that opportunity in terms of technology and doing some joint venture operations there. I think there's scope for Nelson-based businesses as well, but it's not a market that you're going to crack tomorrow. It is one of relationships, like all businesses, but the process is very important to the Chinese operators, so it's not something you're going to build overnight. It is something that you need to put the effort and time in, and be very clear about what you're wanting to achieve and how much time and effort you can put into getting that result.